Don't care about this. You aren't here for a conversation about my buttons. Hello, internet friends, or internet strangers, or internet acquaintances, whatever the appropriate title is. I've got room for more friends if you're looking. I'm very lonely, but that's not the point. Uh, um, yeah,
You can't
let's
tell
talk
people
about.
that, come on.
I got to advertise somehow. You know,
Requesting friends.
Yeah, requesting friends. Come on in, people. Hey, everybody. I'm Jason. I'm your game master. I'm the guy who does the story for Heroes Die Show. And today I'm joined by my awesome friend,
That's
Taya.
me. I'm Taya. Absolutely. I'll be playing Essie Pike in our episode.
Essisode.
Essisode. Oh, I knew I was going to fumble it.
Negative
Yes.
inspiration already. That was
No,
fast.
I'm going to need all the help I can get to get out of here.
Right.
That was really fast. No, we're going to do some announcements, I think. So feel free to join our Discord.
Right.
I actually missed that last session. I was like, oh, I don't get to announce Discord. So I'm here to tell you to come and join our Discord, talk to us. There's also between the scenes stuff that we don't put in our actual episodes, sometimes goes between there. So you don't want to miss it and not know what's going on. We also put character art on there sometimes. It's a great way to get connected with us and stay connected. And also to get connected with us, we have social media. It's all, I believe, at Heroes Die Show. We have a
all
TikTok,
over the place.
we have a Twitter,
we'll link it in
Instagram.
The thing.
Absolutely. All those fun things. They're really great. So check them out.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for joining us. So tonight is our very special Essisode. And what happened is last time on Heroes Die Show, we had someone missing for very good reasons, and they got lost in the woods. And this is the time that we figure out what all happened to them. So we're gonna give it a minute. We're gonna chat and do not much of anything, and then we're gonna start the episode or episode. I can't keep saying that. Episode. We're gonna start the episode. But you
just
have
made enough times I will remember what it is and I won't fumble it next time.
next. Oh, good. Right. Don't ever screw it up again.
Man, I need that inspiration to get out of here alive, man.
Right. The negative inspiration isn't going to help. Well, it'll help me. So I guess it's.
But it will not help me.
No.
No, it's a very bad thing. We were talking about games a little bit before, and I've been on a bit of a personal journey lately with games. So 10 years ago, Trails of Cold Steel came out, and I played it, and I loved it. And then I got really busy with nursing school, and I just abandoned 90% of my hobbies, and that was my whole life was working and going to nursing school, which was a lot. But I just keep seeing the games release, like Trails of Cold Steel 2 came out, and then 3, and then 4, and I just was so distracted with life. And then recently Tales of Reverie came out, and I was like, okay, I cannot get any more behind on these games. I have to play them. So I went back and I bought Trails of Cold Steel 2 and I played it. And I was like, okay, I have 3 more games to go and I'm going to be caught up. It's going to be great. And then I realized a friend of mine told me that there's a 2 series prequel games and they show up in Trails of Cold Steel 3. So I was like, okay, so that's 5 games I have to play now to get caught up. Well, then I realized that there's a prequel series and they also show up and it's 3 games. So I literally am on this journey of getting caught up in the Trail series, and there's 9 games that I have to play, and it is insane.
This is like a games odyssey, basically.
Yes.
What you're on.
Yeah. It's so, because I was like, okay, 4 games, that's easy. I can play 4 games, get caught up, and then it just gets more and more and more. And I got to the point where I had to write myself a list because I was losing track of the plot while figuring out what games I had to play to get caught up. So my personal journey is 1 game down and 8 more to go. So it's been a wild time.
Yeah, careful calling it a games odyssey too much. Somebody will move into your house and marry your wife. You gotta watch that.
Yes, I don't have a wife for anyone to move in and marry.
Right. So. That was a deep cut to Greek mythology. So you're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
I don't know much about Greek mythology, to be honest.
You've been playing Baldur's Gate 3 too, right? 3 as
I
well.
actually okay, so I have had the early access for years, right? And
Yeah.
so I've played Act 1 or like the beginning portion of it multiple times. And it came out like right as I was going camping, and a couple things happened in life, and so I just haven't. And so tonight I got home and I was like, I'm gonna play. So I made my character, which took me forever.
Yeah,
There's so
forever.
many options, and I'm like, I'm gonna be looking at this character in cutscenes for 80 hours, so I better like what they look like.
Yeah.
So I just got past like the first opening section, and you get like your first group of companions again for like the 70th time, although it's polished and nicer now. But have you been
I
thinking of
have
Baldur's Gate, or?
I haven't played it. I've been thinking about it. I've been hearing about it. It seems neat. I love Baldur's Gate 2. I really, I got the expansion, all that stuff. I played the absolute hell of it. Back because there was a couple of them, right? There's Baldur's Gate 2, Icewind Dale. I'm sure there were others that really, for me, like defined what like a cool RPG was, right? A cool RPG game, and like everything else I played, like, was measured up against that. But no, I haven't tried it yet.
It's pretty. I've been enjoying it, although if I've enjoying it, it's pretty good because I'm not an isometric game kind of girl. Like I tried Divinity and I just hated it, which I think I'm in
Yeah, I
the
did too.
vast minority. Okay, thank you. Everyone else is like,
I,
I
I
love
couldn't I couldn't get it.
Divinity.
Yeah.
Oh, so I just, oh man, I tried so hard to like it for a then boyfriend wanted to play it, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's go. And I just could not like it at all. But Baldur's Gate 3 has been a lot of fun. It took me like an hour to decide which class I wanted to play.
Right.
And I'm still not sure. I picked Oath of the Ancients Paladin because the companions I want are all
That's like
squishy.
the druidish one, right?
Yeah, they kind of changed it up so far. Like the only thing that I have is a little extra healing, which
Yeah.
I picked it because the companions I want to take with me are like a wizard and a druid and like really squishy people. And I was like, well, I better be a frontliner. And I had no interest in a fighter. So like, okay, well,
Yeah.
I guess paladin it is. But I have been enjoying it.
I'm a Oath of the Watchers fan when we're talking paladins. Like I think they're so cool.
It's if that had been an option, I would have taken it. That or the crown, but it's only player handbook classes. So it's the pretty bare but like basic classes. They'll probably
Okay.
add more later, but unfortunately you had Oath of, gosh, there was only 3 and I can't remember the other 2. Ancients, Devotion, I want to say, and then whatever the like, Oathbreaker. I think it's Oathbreaker is the third option.
Yeah, the Oathbreaker.
And I was like,
Okay.
why play a paladin
nice.
if you're going to be an Oathbreaker? Like,
I know.
Sorry to all Oathbreaker fans, but that's kind of defeats the purpose of a paladin, in my opinion. So
I've never felt it, so
they're too edgy. You don't want an edgy paladin. Come on.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I love like Oath of Redemption also is very cool. Like in like the role playing side of it, right? Like you just want
you try to better yourself and get back in good graces. It's really cool.
Right. And it's a great start for someone like with like a dark past that's like, shit, like I fucked up and I'm gonna do better, right? Like I've got just a tremendous amount of empathy. Anyway, I feel like there's something there. But we've probably gone on a little too long, a little too far. Folks, get ready for the special Essisode where we find out what all happened with Essie. We'll be back in just a minute. If you want to catch proper Heroes Die show, join us tomorrow for episode 18 or 19. An
19.
Episode 19.
It's
Thank
19.
See, this is why I have other people around. But for episode 19 from 1 to 4 Central Time here on Twitch. Okay. See y'all in a minute.
Ah, old friend, you're here again. So glad you could stop by. Come, sit a while and let's begin the tale of Heroes Die. In distant lands are stories made with villains most despised. A tale of magic, strength, and blade, of camaraderie and lies. It's one I know quite well, you see. Perhaps you'll find out why. The legends and the histories remember. Heroes die.
All right, we're back. Essie's unmuted. We're ready to go.
You bet.
Yeah, before we go too far, I just want to stop and say thanks. A couple folks. One, I want to say thank you to all of you for taking the time to watch. It's Friday night. It's cool that you're joining us. We really appreciate it. I want to say thank you to Taya for joining me. This is really cool. Excited that we got the chance to do this special one-on-one episode. I actually really like one-on-one D&D. Like, I think there's a lot there, and it can be a lot of fun, right? And the nice thing is,
I've never done it, so I'm
you've never
looking
done
forward to it. Never done one-on-one D&D, but
all
tonight's
right,
the
well,
night.
yeah, you're gonna see what it's like. I want to say thanks to the folks at Tabletop Audio. So I'm hopefully gonna remember to play music tonight, and if I do, it will be because of Taya, and also because the folks at Tabletop Audio let us use their music for free. It's really great. So check out their stuff, tabletopaudio.com, or if you're in Roll20, it's like a thing you can use right in there.
It's pretty
And
wonderful.
yeah, that's great. I do use it all the time now. Sometimes when I write, I put on like dramatic music. That's
Listen,
the
sometimes
high
you
speed
need
sea
it,
chase.
you know?
Yeah, is the one that I like. It's like boats and you can hear like thunder and stuff. And that, if you can't write listening to sea chases, you can't write. I'm just gonna say that right now.
I'm just saying, yeah, absolutely. I agree. Gets you in the mood.
Yeah, it gets you in the mood. That's exactly right. Well, speaking of the mood, all right, let's go and let's talk about Essie. Let's talk about what you found. So last time, just to refresh everybody, last time you were kind of y'all had done this raid on this Cerberus safe house. I don't think it was intended to start as a raid.
It wasn't.
I think in your heart you knew how it was going to end.
You always think like we're just going to do a reconnaissance mission, and then always, somebody jumps the gun, and Essie's going to start slapping people when she finds them again. Just saying.
Well,
Yeah.
that's for the future. Let's worry about the present. Let's see if Essie makes it out of the deep dark wood. As this reconnaissance mission went, sideways, upside down, whatever you want to call it, corkscrewed. Doesn't matter. All sorts of strange shapes that it shouldn't have fit into. A couple things happened, right? There were these guards there in the house. There was this incredible display of magic where you saw someone, rip ice into existence to form this wall. You shot at it, ending your invisibility, and then decide to run off into the woods, or you then ran off into the woods. Zagrin, Saleus, Kit, and Calamity have all gone off, and you find yourself, once you stopped, you're running. You stopped and turned around, and you realize you have no idea where anyone is. After not very long, you slid down a gully, and you're turned around, and you get back out into reasonable ground, and you will find yourself alone in the woods.
I'm just gonna immediately, like, happy end in his clutch to my chest, and I'm going to completely pause and try to listen for anything around me, whether that's friends, foe, the forest. I'm just trying to hear what is going on around me.
Yeah, listening. You hear the night sounds, that permeate the forest. You hear rustling of leaves as the wind passes through the trees. You hear faint animal chirps and noises, the crickets, flies buzzing, In the distance, you can hear the howl of a wolf. And roll me a perception check, please.
I'll get myself the Elsewith Pine character excellence. Perception? Oh, that's not great. But that's a 9, not a 6. 9, 10, 11. That is 14.
You think you can hear folks crashing through the woods, but you can't get a sense of direction.
All right. I will. Boy, I'm worried about Kit, and I'm worried about all my friends. Kit a little bit more than the others. I'm going to try to find a large tree, like something that could hide myself, and just put my back up to it for a moment, as I am just going to catch my breath and just kind of hide myself, give myself a moment to recover. And like if anyone comes crashing out of the forest, I will have a little bit of an advantage, but also I don't want to outpace my friends. I want to make sure that I don't leave anyone behind, so I don't want to get too far away from everyone at this point.
Yeah. So just for a little context, you ran a little bit away, and then with that slide down the gully, you're not sure what direction your friends were moving or are relative to where you are. Like, you're confident that you've been turned around, but that's about all you can be confident of.
Okay. So I would assume that we were all going to meet back in the town because we didn't have another location. So that's just kind of what I'm thinking. Is there any way that I could try to figure out what way town would be from this location? Or could I try to crawl out of the gully?
Yeah. So it's hard to know based on where you're at, but you could use your survival skills to get a sense of cardinal direction. Like, in general, you went south and west from town. So what we could do is, if you give me a survival check, unfortunately with disadvantage because you're operating in the dark without a light.
Yes, I'm on Elsewith Pike. 8.
8. You can't
The
get
other
a good
one
fix on it.
Real
You
good.
can't get a good fix on it. One thing you do know is that where that campsite was, it was along the banks of a fairly significant river, and that river runs all the way to the coast. So if you could find your way back to that river, you'd have one way out of it. You also know that this forest is bounded. So this forest is bounded on one side by the river, and on the other side by the open plains of the tundra that you just spent like weeks traveling across.
Mm-hmm.
It's also
Okay.
possible that with daytime, you might be able to get yourself a better sense of where it is.
I don't want to be seen stumbling into town at 9 a.m. That's pretty incriminating. My first order of business, I'm gonna try to crawl out of this gully on the opposite side of where I fell down.
Yeah, absolutely. So
Making
you're
a jump.
able to do so, right? Like, it's wet. Your hand sticks into that nice damp layer of years and years of undisturbed leaves. You find some nice sharp rocks to crawl over, give yourself a little nick on the knee, but you get out of the gully and you are standing on the far side, significantly dirtier and grimier than when you started. You had a couple encounters with wait a minute vines, these thin vines that pull across you and make it hard to continue moving. You get up.
All right, she's just gonna brush off her knees and sling Happy, and she's just gonna try to get her hands free of grime as much as possible, and then she's just gonna get Happy Endin, get it in her hand, and then just start making her way to attempt to I'm going to be listening closely. I'm going to be moving very slowly as I try to hear any noise. I mean, a large river should make a decent amount of noise. I'll also look for vegetation that might be growing a little bit closer to a river. Do my best to not draw attention to myself.
Great. You wander the mist. You wander the mist for a while, or the woods. Excuse me. You wander the woods for a while, and as you do so, you hear a crack as something breaks a stick not far from you.
I
Roll me
immediately
another
freeze.
perception check, please.
I immediately just like stop as soon as that happens. Oh God. Okay, that's not a 2 like I thought it was at first. That's a 13.
13. You look around and you're not sure, but you're pretty sure the crack came from down the hill. As you're peering down, you're getting ready to be like, hey, must have been nothing. And then you see a pair of eyes glint down the hill.
Does it look like they're looking at me directly?
See a pair of eyes pointed in your direction. So they're clearly forward-facing eyes. And yeah, they're clearly in your general direction. But that's about all you can see from here.
I will not move a muscle. I will just like lock eyes. Like I will be just watching this thing, trying not to even blink as I just stare, but I am absolutely still. Silent. Oh, flush me.
And a figure begins to move forward. You see something large and fur-covered begin creeping forward and moving up the hill. That stops. You see now it's got a snout and it raises it, sniffing the air.
Is there only one? God.
You can only see one.
Everything I have is so loud. I really need a silencer. That's what I need. Is there any way that I could ease back and away from it?
Absolutely, you can.
Slowly. I'm talking like I don't put my foot down hard. I just like see if there's a stick and then I slowly like redistribute my weight, and I'm just like as quietly as possible.
Are you putting your back to this thing, or are you walking away backwards?
Absolutely not. I'm trying to go, like I need to get around it, so I'm trying to kind of like to the side. To be clear,
you're traveling along a ridge, right, with slope sides on either side, and this thing is down below you and behind.
Okay, then no, I'm not turning my back to it, but I am attempting to get away.
As you start moving back, the thing freezes and steps forward. Now that you're looking, it moves forward a little bit further. This is a bear.
It's a bear.
It
Really?
as you move a little bit, you accidentally step on a stick yourself, and the crack focuses its gaze on you. It raises up on all fours, sniffs the air, looks at you.
I'm just gonna say you don't want to mess with me tonight, and try to like wave my arms and be bigger. I'm gonna try to look bigger than I am.
All right, so you're gonna try and intimidate this bear back, but well,
Yeah.
I think it's reasonable if you like. You could try animal handling or survival. I'll take either of those.
Real bad at both of those. But I finally rolled well for the first time. Natural 19.
That was
Roll
a
above a
game.
10.
What does that turn out to?
19. Totally. I have nothing to add to this.
Got it.
Listen, I don't deal in animals. I deal in Carlos. I don't know what
Got it.
animals
The
are
bear,
like.
the bear steps forward a little bit, but now on two legs, um, and suddenly it lets out a bellowed roar, but it doesn't come charging at you. You think that
I'm,
you've got this guy in a situation, this bear in a situation where it wants to assert its territory more than eat you.
all right. I, I don't want to be here any more than you want to be here. I need to get past you, or I don't need to get away from you. I'm just gonna I don't want to make a ton of noise. Like, my firearms are going to make a lot of noise. So I'm just going to chamber around in to try to make a clicking noise without making a booming noise. And just put a hand up. Just keep backing away. But I'm going to be talking in an aggressive tone like you don't want to come by me.
Yeah, you get the
Slowly.
impression based on how well you rolled. Like, you get the impression getting away from this thing sooner rather than later. Like, don't run. Like,
Yeah.
keeping distance will be the best defense that you have against this.
I'm not moving super slow anymore. I'm making pace, although I'm not turning my back and I'm not fleeing, but I am moving at a steady pace.
Moving as fast as you can without falling over in the dark at night in the woods. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. It's just like the Kowalska jungle, I've done this
exactly.
so many times.
Easy peasy.
You bet.
All right. So pull away from the bear, and it doesn't seem to be eager to follow you deeper into the night. As you retreat, there's a clear path. Excuse me. You can see that the ground slopes a little bit upwards and is a little bit drier. If you go off kind of away, the most direct away from the bear route that you can take, there's a path of least resistance there.
Yes, I will take that as long as I don't hear anything negative coming from there. I'm going to take my opportunity. I'm going to go for it.
Yeah. So you begin moving down this path. And you actually travel for a little bit, right? Like 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes pass, and the trail kind of is bigger and smaller at different times. You're on some kind of game trail. You start to look around you, like this is a big forest. Like, this is an old growth forest that you're in. And some of the trees now begin to seem like there was a lot of evergreen, a lot of that sort of tree. But now the trees are starting to look a little bit older, and some other style of tree. In fact, down at the level that you're at, you see very few leaves, and you see that they're beginning to look a little bit more gnarled.
Does it seem like maybe they are closer to water and or submerged part of the year? Like, does that give me the vibe?
You've kind of gone uphill from where you were, right? That's been the easiest path, although it is now starting to slope down a fair bit. But no, it is. You don't get the impression that this is a particularly wet area. What you get the impression is that the trees have changed, and they almost have a more ominous tinge. You also notice that there's a layer of mist on the ground now. As you walk, your feet are kicking little paths in the mist. Like, it doesn't. You can't see much past your calf down on the ground.
This is maybe like a really stupid question, but as far as the trees changing, I'm going to take a moment and settle myself and just you are going to be fine. Elspeth Pack, you've been in situations like this before. Do the trees look like it's just my brain playing tricks on me that they look spooky, or do they look almost like infected with something or impacted by something magical?
Roll me a nature check.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say nature, not survival. I'm so much better at nature. Nature. Oh, Okay. 15, because I'm real smart.
15. You do get the impression that something has warped these trees. There is an effect at work here.
Is it something I've seen or heard of before?
Roll me an Arcana, please.
I'm even better at that. Elspeth Pike guarantee of excellence. Oh, that's so good. 23.
An effect that you know of, right? This world, this material plane, like beings of deep magic, assert. Let me just go to another thing real quick. Like when a star sits in space, right? It like forms like a little imagine like it's like a big sheet of fabric. It forms like a depression where it sits, and then other things kind of get warped around it, right? Things that would otherwise just go straight across the sheet begin to circle around that warped position, right? Beings of strong magic and places of strong holy or unholy or things with this heavy magical aura, they warp the material plane around them. So you get the impression that this is one of those moments where the material plane has been warped. Something is wrong with this forest here, and what it is isn't entirely clear, but it sure doesn't seem like it's something good.
Elspeth Pack, what have you gotten yourself into? Am I like in it now, or is there a way that I could go around this forest?
You're a good bit in. You don't see a clear pathway out. You do, however, looking around, you think you see flickers of light off in the distance, almost like firelight.
Uh-huh. I don't think that's necessarily a good thing, but you know what? I'm not wise. I'm smart, but I'm not wise. So, I think that even despite, I know that this is probably bad, but I'm curious and I like to figure stuff out. I'm going to go towards the flickering lights. Because why not?
Great.
Terrible.
Great. Perfect. You're moving through the woods and you head towards the light. At times you see it, at other times you get lost. What you do notice is the fog is starting to get deeper. And as you breathe in, you can get some smells that weren't there before. So you had the smell of the forest, and there was certainly some mud and things on your hands, and those didn't have a nice smell to them, right? But the piney smell is gone, and you feel almost like the air is almost a little sweet to the taste, or to the smell, and that mist is getting thicker now. It's probably only up to your thighs. It swirls around higher, and as it does so, you get the taste more and more from the mist. It's almost like the sweet of like a rotten apple or something, right? Like it's unhealthy. There's a sense of mold and mildew in the air. And as you start touching some of the things as you pass, right, like things are wet, right? Like not like they've been soaked, but just damp.
I'm going to speak in primordial, softly, gently around me, and I'm just in primordial. I'm going to say, I don't mean any harm coming through here, and I won't touch anything. I'm just looking for some passage.
You invoke that ancient tongue, right? Like the language of the fundamental elements, and you can feel the words resonate through the air, but nothing seems to necessarily respond. Um, you hear off in the night, you hear a ah, whoa, and
Oh.
these cries around you, and then and strange feral laughter and animal snarls coming from the mist, always seemingly over one shoulder or another.
Yep. I'm going to say, just in common, I don't mean any harm. Just trying to get safe passage.
As you say that, the sounds recede a little, and you can see ahead of you the mist is starting to dip a little bit, dip and clear, and you see what looks like a path that leads into a clearing, and you can see some of the light there coming from that clearing. You think
I'll
this may
just
be
say-
the source of the fire?
I'll just say, you don't hurt me, and I won't hurt you. But I'll come to your fire, and I'll just walk into the clearing. It seems to be where it wants me to go.
Yeah, as you're moving, you start to feel like you can tell that it's cold, and yet you find the cold doesn't touch you, right? Like it's there and it's on your skin, but it's distant. And that numbness that's in your fingers is starting to carry into your senses more broadly. And you almost feel like you're having trouble concentrating, and your vision is a little cloudy. But you walk into that clearing, and you see this space, this clearing between a perfect ring of trees. There are there are 5 trees around the center of this clearing, spaced almost equally apart, and in the center there's a fire, and over the fire you see a cauldron, and a figure stands over that cauldron. The figure looks to be an older woman, and she looks over at you as you come to the clearing.
I'll just
and she goes,
put a hand up. Like, I don't mean any harm.
"Come, child." She motions to you.
You're not going to put me in that pot, are you?
"I promise safety in my circle."
So I just want you to know, I appreciate that, and I just want you to know that I am way more used to you alive than I am dead, because I'm way more used to you alive. All right, let's just put it that way. And for that moment of like my vision being weird, like on reflex, I take off my glasses and I like, buffer them a little bit and put them on, because I'm hoping that it's just that my glasses are fogged up. And then when I put them back on and my vision's still not great, I'm like, son of a wyvern's ass. And I just walk forward confidently. Like, I've been in this situation 10 times before and I know what I'm doing.
Yeah. So you see this woman standing there, standing over the pot. She's an elderly woman. It's a big pot. It is probably big enough, maybe not to fit you, but certainly Calamity could go in there, right?
That's fine. I'll
certainly-
sacrifice her.
Jeez. All right. And she's stirring it with this large wooden spoon. The woman's wearing, not great clothing, and it's not super well fitting. And you notice her face is painted, like the top half up to here is painted all black, and the bottom half is painted all in red. She has a lot of earrings in both ears, number of earrings in both ears, and she has around her neck a couple things stand out. At first, you think she's wearing some sort of scarf or necklace, and then you realize that she's wearing a noose. Um, a noose that is cut and frayed at the end, and you can see scarring on her neck from what looks like a hanging injury.
Oh my god.
The snarling and the laughing continues in the mists around you, but is quieter. You look around outside the circle, and there inside the mist is gone. Inside the space between the 5 trees is gone. But outside, it's held up almost as if by a wall. The smell of incense is much stronger here in the clearing. She looks at you. She goes, "So, you hope to be of use to me then?"
Well, I don't want to end up in that pot, Miss,
My name is Beatrice.
It's a lovely name, Beatrice.
It
my name is
is.
Essie. Yeah, it is. My name is Essie.
Essie.
Yep.
Essie
That's my name.
Pike.
How do you know my name, ma'am?
I know many things. And she stirs her pot.
I can see you're a wise woman. Is there like a place to sit down? around her?
There's a stump that you could sit on.
I'm gonna just ease into sit on the stump. I'm not a threat to her. You've got well, I don't know if lovely is the right word, but it seems like it's got a lot of natural defenses, or you might have been putting a lot of time into the defenses around the area, and I think that's pretty exemplary. I put a lot of time into the defenses around my home too, so I completely understand.
It will serve for our business tonight.
And what by chance, would you mind telling me what that might be? Because I'm a little surprised that you know my name, to be perfectly honest with you. I'm not in my normal, attire. I'm a little scuffed right now.
I know many things.
Do you know a
She
woman
looks down
named...
into the cauldron, and she goes, "I see many things."
Hold up. Does she have a green clawed hand?
She has her hand. Her hand is old, and her skin is dark, but it is human.
Okay.
She's wrinkled, and there's certainly scarring and calluses all over her hands, but they are human hands.
All right. That's one thing checked off my list. Do you happen to know a woman named Chalea? Is she any relation to yours? She was a very wise woman as well. She had visions of the future. I'm assuming just like you, although I hate to assume.
I can't say I do, but there are friends of yours that are of interest to me.
What sort of interest are we
Things
talking
I
about?
know that are of interest to you.
So, you want to trade information for something I have?
I want to find a way for us to help each other, Elspeth Pike.
I'm not necessarily opposed to that by any means, but I do think we should lay out a contract so that neither one of us are backstabbed in any way. What are you looking from me?
I am a fan of contracts.
Me too, when I've read through them with a fine-tooth comb.
First, let's discuss what I can do for you. And then I'll let you know. Simple task I ask in return.
I'm going to just sit and I'm like, happy ending is over my knees. All right. Let's hear what you can do for me.
I know you, Elspeth Pike, daughter of Cedric Pike.
Have you met my father before?
I can see. And she pulls out into the mist, and a figure emerges from the mist, a small figure, a mist-sized figure. But it looks vaguely like the figure of your father.
There's that gut instinct to react, and then she just like squashes it down. Yeah, he got his likeness. Pretty well right, although I think that he's got a few more gray hairs, so maybe it's the mist, you can't really tell.
And there are others. And she pulls out, and there comes an image vaguely like your mother, and two smaller ones. And then out walks a little Essie. But it is a happy family no more. And then the Essie moves away. And the other four remain there together. I sense you are troubled, Miss Pike. Am I correct?
Well, we've all got troubles in this world, don't we? Who doesn't have troubles in this world?
But your troubles burden not just you. And then the figure of your father pulls away from your family, and you can see the others reach out as he begins to disappear back into the wall of mists.
Oh no. That's a neat trick, but as far as I know, my father's doing just fine in Zadash.
Is that what you know? You, Miss Pike, you have put your family in danger, haven't you?
She'll start to breathe like just a smidgen heavier, faster. My parents are smart, capable. They'll keep our family safe.
But the mighty hand of the Empire. And you see a bunch of little soldiers march out of the mist. And they surround and move through where the little figures of your family are. And then disappear. Is stronger than any one man, isn't it? Tell me, Miss Pike. Tell me. What is it that you've done that's put them in danger?
I've not done anything to be ashamed of.
No. And she waves over her bowl, and she looks in, and she says, "But I see you travel with others, one of whom searches for his destiny, doesn't he?"
Seems like there's more on his plate than he's letting on. But I don't know if that's any of my business.
But your association puts more than you at danger, doesn't it?
How would anyone know who they really are? Who is letting on who I'm traveling with? How does the Empire even know that I'm traveling with folks from the Kryn Dynasty? Where's
She
the mole?
smiles at you. Her gap tooth smile widens.
That is an interesting question, but it's
I
not
suppose.
what I will help you with tonight.
So what are you going to help me with?
I believe, Miss Pike,
And she comes over. She leaves her thing, and she comes and sits beside you on another stump. And she leans over. You can smell her breath is so fucking rotten. Like, so rotten. Like her body odor, her breath. There's that stink, a full, proper rotten egg stink to her. And she looks over. She goes,
I tell you this, Miss Pike. I would like to arrange a simple trade. One that serves you, serves your family.
and they pull back out of the mist, and you can see them. And the little Essie Pike figure goes over to join them, and you can see them all holding hands and hugging.
And can help your friend achieve his own destiny.
What's the cost? There's always a
Simple.
cost.
I ask only you deliver a message. Present my offer to your companion.
And you see a face pulled down out of the mist. It is Zagran's face. 100%.
Oh. So let me get this straight, because this don't seem to match up. You're telling me that you're going to give me a way to save my family from any perceived wrongdoing that the Empire thinks that I've done by traveling with the Kryn Dynasty folks. In return, all you want for me to do is pass along a message to my friend Dalen? What's the catch? I don't think we need to pussyfoot around this. You're smart, I'm smart. I don't think trying to trap each other is going to work necessarily.
Your association with this
And she smiles.
Dalen puts you, your friends,
And a little figure of Kit pulls out of the mists.
puts you, your friends,
And a little Calamity pulls out of the mist.
in danger. Tell I offer to help you and help Dalen so that he finds his destiny and you can continue to travel on without him.
How does that benefit you?
She smiles. She goes,
I have interests that lie beyond this veil. And fate of the one you travel with interests me. I would see his destiny fulfilled correctly.
Correctly for you or correctly for him?
Myself and my sisters, we can ensure that his destiny is fulfilled. Tell him the Dust Song Seekers, Dust Song Sisters, would speak with him.
He's gonna know the Dusk Song Sisters. He's gonna know what that means.
You will tell him we can help him fulfill his destiny.
How's that benefit me?
She reaches onto her neck, and in addition to that noose, there's a necklace of small little bones. Actually, what's your medicine skill?
Definitely +0.
Okay. Small little bones. And she pulls off one of the little bones. And she reaches out her hand as if asking for your hand. There we go.
I'm gonna give her a hard look. Like, sizing her up. Do I feel any bad motives?
Yes. Yes. You don't even have to roll an insight on this. Yes, you definitely do.
Do I sense that she's going to try to kill me if this thing touches me? That's kind of what I'm going for.
I see.
I mean, overall, I know that's how I'm going for. Are these bones gonna melt off my hand? Are they gonna force me into a contract? Is it gonna?
Hard to tell. There's something deeply friggin' ominous about this, but she seems to be trying to get you to agree to do this of your own free will. It seems to be. That being said, your head is feeling fuzzier and fuzzier, right? Like your vision's more blurred. You're tired. Like you can feel your eyes are hard to keep open.
I don't appreciate you coercing me by making me exhausted, losing my mental faculties. We're gonna do this. We're gonna do this on even ground.
Give me your hand, child.
Is this gonna lock me into something I don't want to be a part of? It's gonna hurt me, harm me?
Is yours.
I don't know if I necessarily have a choice in this matter. Oh man, I'm gonna reach out.
She grabs your hand. She grabs your hand. Her thin fingers grip your wrist in just a vice-like grip. And she pulls it towards her.
Beatrice.
And she looks up at you. She looks up at you and she goes,
"Take this. It will guide you through the woods and back to us."
And she puts it in your hand. And then she closes your fingers over it.
Tell your companion and return to us. Tomorrow night. Return tomorrow night.
I'm just gonna.
We will show him his destiny.
What if he don't want to come? I'm one person against 4.
She reaches out her other hand towards your face. And she just strokes it lightly. Her long nails are like chipped and dry.
Grimy.
And you can feel your very essence repulsed by her touch. And she goes,
Tomorrow night, tell him. And your sweet, precious family can go on unharmed. This pall laying over them, lift it.
How? I want facts, not like you're gonna lead me on for the rest of my life over this.
she
I
stands
want to
up.
know a plan and how you're gonna go about that before I do this.
She stands up. She walks over to her cauldron and she stirs.
Tomorrow night, bring him here.
And as she begins stirring, you can feel the fatigue wearing in, and you also see the mist begin to creep in to the circle.
I'm gonna clutch the bone in my hand. She said it'd give me safe passage.
The mists continue to creep in, now obscuring the fire. You get darker around you as you sit there. Keeps getting darker. You can feel your lids getting heavier. Heavier.
Go now, girl. Remember my message.
All right. I'll stand, kind of like catch my balance for a moment. Can I walk?
You can, but you're woozy. Like, it feels like you're drunk. Like something's off.
I'm gonna like use my rifle like almost like a crutch or like a cane, so that give myself a little bit of balance.
Yeah. You walk
Jeez.
on, your vision blurring. You stumble. You stumble and you fall to your knees. Stumble and you fall to your knees. You try and get up and you make it a little further, but before long you collapse down and you find yourself awake. But you're not surrounded by mists, nor are you in this strange wood. You are, in fact, you wake up, you look around, you can see that it's nearly dawn, like false dawn is up, and you are in an entirely different part of the woods. For a minute, you wonder, like, was this real? Like, what happened? And then you open your hand, and the little bone is sitting there in your left hand.
Oh, by the holy gate. I gotta get out of here. I'm gonna try to get to my feet.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are there any like after effects of the mist?
You feel fine. Like, you feel tired, and you certainly don't think that you've slept very much, but you're not feeling, it doesn't feel terrible.
All right. I'll put the bone in the bag of holding, and there's this moment because I know that the bag of holding is almost like a little bomb, can be depending on what you put in there. And I just wait for a moment, hoping that nothing happens,
Yeah, you don't notice anything.
and then I like lift up like she does when she'll sling Happy Ending behind her back, and then she'll take off her glasses and rub the bridge of her nose like she always does when she's real stressed, and puts her glasses back on. All right, Nailsmith Pike, you've been through worse than this. We'll get through this too. first we gotta find him. Give yourself a little pep talk, and in a little bit more light with like the false dawn coming, can I try to triangulate where I might be, or do I hear a river at all?
Yeah, roll me a perception check, please.
Elspeth Pat, guarantee of excellence. Oh my god, I'm rolling so bad tonight. 13.
13. You're not sure. You're looking around. You just hear normal night noises, but then you can hear, like almost the sound of voices or shouts. You look in the distance. You think you see some light through the trees.
I can tell I haven't had a long rest, right? Like I'm tired. All right.
You don't feel like you've slept very much.
Yep. Maybe I should just go back to bed right now. No, I will not do that. I have to find my friends.
You're just kind of laying. You were just kind of laying in a pile of leaves and pine needles and things, right?
Yep. She's gonna just be like, all right, well, it's just like Sepeska. I'm gonna brush off the leaves, try to make myself presentable, and take a moment. Like if there's any tears in my garments, I'm gonna mend them. So like all my little tools and the stuff comes out, and I seal them up.
You can hear as you're doing this. You can hear some of that noise that you thought. Like you can hear it getting a little louder, and there's definitely some shouts.
Oh, I'll start heading in that direction, but I'm going to be real quiet, and I'm going to try to be real stealthy.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me a stealth check.
All right, I'm bringing out my lucky dice for this. I've been rolling like garbage all night. Oh, thank goodness. It doesn't let me down. That's a 10 plus, so 18.
Yeah. So you get over kind of closer to where the noise was, and then you realize that you're actually looking near the edge of the forest, and you can see the town of Icehaven not far. You see figures out there. You can see some figures out there in the fields, and there's a bunch. It looks like there's a bunch of figures with lights and torches and things out there searching the fields. And there's a group of soldiers, probably,
Oh, no.
Probably like 150 feet off. And you see that there probably four of them, maybe. And you can see they're pushing along. They're pushing along a very tall half-drow friend of yours.
By the holy gate.
And we're going to end it right there.
Oh, no! Zagrin! Oh, man. See, it's gonna be this moment of her standing there being like, oh, there's my friend. Oh, he's captured, that dingus. Like, oh my god. Zagger and Baltoon. Of course it'd be Zagger that got captured. Like, he's got the least, like, ability to take care of himself out of all of us. That was fun. Oh, I can't. Secrets. Why do I always get secrets? Oh, man. Dilemmas, moral dilemmas.
I hope you enjoyed it. So that's the advantage of one-on-one D&D. And it doesn't always have to be so, like, so cutscene-ish. But that was a really good one. I was waiting to use that. So when I saw you were out, I was, like, really excited for what we could do. And yeah, so you got to do.
Oh.
And if you're curious, folks, if you're watching this and you want to see more, Wednesday nights, usually at 7 Central, we do, or I do prep sessions where you can hear me talking about setting up cool things like this for our friend Taya and other interesting dilemmas that our characters get to face.
Which I can never listen to, and I always want to watch them, but I can't.
Definitely can't. Yeah, definitely cannot.
It makes me so sad. Well, you can tell by my reactions, I have no idea when things are coming. Like, I can't. It's no poker. I'm super bad at poker, if anyone's wondering. I'm sure you could all guess that.
Yeah. No, it's not my forte either. But yeah, this has been great. Thank you so much, folks. If you're out there watching, thank you so much for watching this. Check out the next episode where you can see where this rolls off to. Tomorrow right, tomorrow from 1 to 4 Central Time here on this place or anytime later on YouTube. Check us out. Join us on Discord. Follow us on social media if you're a social media person. Or better yet, get off social media. You don't need that. Go outside. Hang out with your friends. Do cool stuff. Okay?
But bring your phone and watch our social media on your phone. Show your friends.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. And yeah, check out Tabletop Audio. It's cool. It's got neat stuff. I don't know. I don't have anything else. You got anything else?
Nope. I don't have anything else. Although, man, I hope we care enough about Zagrin to get him out of there.
Yeah, well, we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna be explosive. And with that, see you tomorrow.